The events of the last few years have taught us in the Caribbean that urgent action is needed to combat the effects of climate change. The Caribbean Development Bank has taken on climate change and is a driving force in the push for building regional resilience. In 2012, CDB approved its first climate resilience strategy to ensure that climate considerations are mainstreamed in the bank's work. It prioritized mobilizing concessionary resources for borrowing member countries so they can strengthen their capacity to design, plan, and implement climate actions. Together with partners such as the European Investment Bank, CDB is scaling up its support for climate-resilient investments.
The EIB is a key partner for the CDB, and it started back in 2006 when we signed the first global loan with them. More recently, recognizing the vulnerability of the Caribbean region to natural hazards, the EIB has provided resources from their climate action line of credit that we call CALC. Right? And those resources have helped our countries to build resilience to natural hazards.
The EIB and CDB work very well together. We have long-standing collaboration. The EIB is the largest provider of multilateral climate financing, and the CDB is a key partner to help us to provide this financing to small island states in the region.
EIB has provided €170 million in concessional financing to CDB through two climate action lines of credit, the first signed in 2011 and the second in 2017. Utilizing these two lines of credit, CDB funded over $300 million in climate action investments in its borrowing member countries. CDB provided $14.7 million to rehabilitate the John Compton Dam in St. Lucia.
The John Compton Dam essentially is the premier water supply source for St. Lucia, essentially serving the Castries and the northern area where the bulk of the population resides.
The dam was affected by heavy rains and landslides due to the passage of Hurricane Tomas in 2010 and had been working at less than half its capacity.
The project as it stands right now will involve the dredging of the sediment from the reservoir, then the transport of the sediment via the pipeline, and then the disposal of the sediment in what we call the sediment disposal area.
EIB funding helped to upgrade the Philip W. Golson Highway, a heavily used and critical roadway in Belize. This project has made the road safer and more climate resilient.
This project was developed based on the premise that we had two issues along the route of this highway. One main issue was flooding. The second issue was the traffic congestion. So by upgrading this road with the numerous lanes that we have done so far, we were able to achieve a higher level of service. We have also raised the road significantly to alleviate flooding and also to alleviate any rainfall events we may have, which may be extreme enough that may cause the road to flood. So the works that we've done so far has really improved the entire area, because we've also included line drains and sidewalk side drains so that we could have a segregated area for pedestrians to walk.
Also in Belize, EIB and CDB's support is laying the groundwork for a similar project in Crooked Tree Village, a low-lying isolated island.
The main vulnerability of Crooked Tree is the flooding situation, because of the fact that Crooked Tree is a low-lying area, and the lagoon is connected to two main waterways. That's the Black Creek and the Spanish Creek. Those empty out into the Crooked Tree Lagoon.
Through CALC resources, CDB assisted the government of Belize to prepare a feasibility study and detailed designs for upgrading the Crooked Tree Road and Causeway.
The length of the Crooked Tree Road is 5.6 kilometers. It's a dirt road, it's not paved. So what we want to do is upgrade it to pavement standard. Because you see, one of the issues that the people have is that when the place gets flooded, Sometimes it takes maybe like a few weeks to a month in order for the water to recede.
When completed, the project will facilitate all-weather access that is more climate resilient and environmentally sound. In Jamaica, CDB financed a major street light retrofitting project to reduce energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions. Approximately 105,000 streetlights will be replaced with high-efficiency LED lights.
Starting in 2017, and between 2017 and now, we have completed about 45,000 out of that number. So in the first part of the project mainly concentrated on the major metropolitan areas. So in 2019, we started to expand on the areas that were included in the project, and we now went into some other rural parishes that weren't included before.
The project is expected to save the government $13.9 million per year.
In terms of the customers, the country at large, the major benefit is relating to one, improved lighting quality. The white light that is given off is closer to daylight, so perceived clarity at night is better. One concern that persons generally have about general street lighting is safety. So it affects the way people feel safe. At a national level, I know people are very excited about the rollout of this project and wanting to see it completed as quickly as possible.
Building for resilience is an expensive proposition, and the resources that we get from the EIB has a good level of concessionality in them, and so that is a bit of an incentive for countries to build infrastructure that it can be more resilient.
The CDB is very well placed to help us identify and appraise those projects, and we have collaborated in multiple projects in the water sector, transport, rural development, and many other sectors. We look forward to continuing this fruitful collaboration.
Climate change is real, and its impacts on the mainly small island states of the Caribbean undeniable. Thanks to the Caribbean Development Bank and partners such as the European Investment Bank, the region is building more resilient and sustainable economies.